After the great mage Seri, aka the Feet Goddess, has accepted her fate in the revised script of the Foundation Festival arc, all she has to do is enjoy cake and wait patiently as she knows someone is about to go crazy. And that is Ubel!
合格だ.
We get you, Megane. You tried to escape, but a crazy green-haired stalker that wants to strip you of your land is going to ruin your life. But it will make for quite the compelling story, so you better learn to put the reins on your girl. Or actually, it's a little too late. It is chapter 142, 2 chapters into the festival ball, and inside the ball is nothing but dancing and caking. And outside as well, Ubel and poor Megane. One of the biggest questions one might have from this arc, considering what Gluck and Kanone and Dinkin's conversation entailed, is who exactly is pulling the strings? Who is this higher authority? What is Frase's end goal? This chapter makes things a little clearer and not at the same time. One of the big themes of Frieren gets reiterated in this chapter in the fact that nothing lasts forever, and the Emperor states it himself. Now we have Seri mentioning something similar of humans or demons being the one that may defeat Frieren and herself. Flame saying something similar here, and the plethora of characters that show that Father Time is undefeated. And so something that has been lasting a long time, it seems like something has to give, right? Not to get too deep in the weeds of Frieren's themes, but many characters like the Emperor bring up the fact that it's hard to see something not existing. This can be alluded to Seri herself not seeing herself being yeeted just the same as Frieren. But really, you can apply this to anything, like how the Emperor is applying this to the Empire itself. Wait, is this the Emperor? And she's talking back and keeping secrets from him like the Shadow Warriors did before they were disbanded? I guess every nation is run by It's always the shadow government, isn't it? What this chapter made pretty clear is that there are two major players with near equal authority that have tons of leeway with the Emperor, and that is Dinkin and Captain Frase. Poor guy doesn't even know what his follower is about to do. What is even more informative about how Dinkin and Captain Frase handle situations is that Dinkin and Captain Frase are polar opposites. The Captain Frase we know is one that has these sensibilities like Ubel, which is a big yikes. Gluck said he should have had Mach yeet her, and Dinkin said that he can't put the reins on her anymore. The Dinkin we know is more like in-law daddy Gluck. He doesn't like corruption, stirs the politics to play in a more peaceful end, and seems like a guy that keeps his word, like in the conversation between himself and Sense. Nothing sums this up better than how Dinkin handles situations. It's that Dinkin himself came to an agreement with the Emperor to sign a peace treaty of some sort at the festival ball with Seri of the Continental Magic Association. Our boy Dinkin brokered a peace treaty, it seems like. And right now it appears that Seri has requested an audience with the Majesty to potentially set that up, or something else crazier. It seems like although the Emperor is the end-all be-all with his decisions, the true string pullers are Dinkin and Captain Frase, or Linio. Seri? Despite being polar opposites, both likely help balance each other out with their decision making. That makes the Empire thrive as much as it is now, even though he said it was once a thriving empire, continually alluding to that empires eventually fall. It looks like whatever plan Dinkin had in place between the Empire and the Continental Magic Association, that is the current plan, at least from the Emperor's eyes. However, Captain Frase still has something up her sleeve as a hush hush that she can just tell the big boss man, I'm keeping things secret for now. I guess somehow Captain Frase manipulated Dinkin to go far away to Weiss, but we know that learning is there too, which makes things quite interesting for what can happen later. When Dinkin and Gluck question Kanone of who this higher authority may be and what they're plotting, all of that still points to Captain Frase, but still potentially with someone else. Apparently not the big boss man, because they're just figureheads, aren't they? One other thing that basically rules out the fact that Captain Frost could be working with the Shadow Warriors is the fact that she said, until the day that every single person in this world can use magic. This echoes a similar conversation with Kanone, that she will do everything she can to protect magic, because Commander Reve and all the other Shadow Warrior associates like Lo want to end all magic.
不合格だ
So right now it's still kind of hard for me to see Captain Frost not choose to go after the Shadow Warriors first before trying to fight Ceri's group. Although Ceri acts as like that gatekeeper for magic, at least she doesn't want it ended. And if someone like Kanone ends up being someone like Lineal, it would make perfect sense that the Shadow Warriors are in the worst position right now. And I think in the previous chapter, when Kanone was looking for the Shadow Warriors information, she couldn't find it because if she's Lineal, she already took it. This arc has focused heavily on polar opposite ideologies and personalities. We have people for magic and against magic. We have hubris to the nth degree in the Feet Goddess Ceri that believes no one can defeat her. And we have all the humans that think otherwise of her as a threat to humanity, like the great mage Minas the Witch was. We have one of the strongest mages ever in Frieren, but even she recognizes that in close enough distances, Stark could yeet her. And now we have Ubel's thought process of causing the Shadow Warriors to make their move first versus Sense's overall strategy of the wait and see approach. And I hate to admit this, but I like Ubel's chaos. I never thought I'd say that, but Megane tends to agree with Ubel, but not actually acting on it, that if Ceri's group does absolutely nothing, you're just letting the Shadow Warriors get every advantage possible, unless somehow a trap is already laid for them, which doesn't seem to be the case unless Ubel and Megane was left out of that part of the plan. It's still quite the bold strategy to be the one to cause chaos because of the unpredictable nature of it and the people that would end up getting yeeted like Ubel. However, she's kinda right, because Iris herself said that this disturbance that Ubel is causing is an endangerment to their mission. Look at Ceri's matchmaking capabilities. Ubel cares about Megane just as much as Megane cares about her, because he kinda has to if he cares about his life. They both walk outside of a room where a bunch of statues with real swords are on display. Megane mentions something really interesting, that there are more weapons like these swords around, kind of like this. And so he grabs Ubel's hand because the swords are really dangerous and he cares about her and himself. Routine pops out her little head to gain confirmation on these two crazy lovebirds and confirmed both pairs did. Routine quickly realizes that they definitely acted on their own and that Ubel and Megane already knew who they were, which leads them to gain control of the situation so they can like spill the beans of how these two knew. One of my conspiracies, if you guys watch this video, when it comes to Ubel, she might have already potentially empathized with Megane. To trick your enemies, you gotta trick your allies, right? This is what Lan did the entire time during the first class mage exam. Nothing will surprise me if both Megane and Ubel end up appearing to be dead. It's really hard for me to see these two go down that easily, ratting out Sense's plans, and narratively, keeping Ubel and Megane around just makes the story that much more interesting. With our first battle already starting, and by the person no one is surprised that helped started it, Kanone, Lineal is awaiting Captain Frost's orders. But Frost's next orders is really going to start the process of what her true intentions ends up being. But the fact that she basically already said that inside the ball, nothing can happen. But outside the ball, you can go ahead and yeet some fools! With 2 chapters down after the 7-month hiatus, if it's just 2 chapters per month, like I'm pretty okay with that too. But these first 2 chapters after the festival ball started, it answered a lot more questions than I thought it would. If Dinkin's strategy with the Continental Magic Association and the Empire is to broker a peace treaty, Captain Frost is supposedly the opposite, has sensibilities like Ubel. Doesn't that just all make us think that Captain Frost is about to give the orders, just yeet everyone? At the same time, we can clearly see that Captain Frost is supportive of magic. She doesn't want that to end. And if she figures out that the Shadow Warriors want to end all magic, it seems pretty reasonable whose side that she will pick first to protect and which one she wants to get rid of. As the Shadow Warriors, they are technically a part of the Empire, so they are the people betraying the Empire right now. When it comes to Ubel, I love that Yamada Kanehito chose to do the obvious and use Ubel to actually start the whole damn thing. The genius here in the writing is giving Ubel a reason why she's doing what she's doing. Even Megane agreed, even though he doesn't actually want to go through with it by causing the ruckus, because obviously it's really dangerous and they can all die. But if you add in the fact that Iris herself said that Ubel could mess up everything, that gives all the more credibility to Ubel's decision to try to mess with everything, in which she did eventually provoke them to make the first move. So I think Ubel, she might be semi-right in what she did. So yeah guys, let me know what you guys thought about Frieren chapter 142. Leave in the comments what you guys thought about this chapter. I would love to know. And do me a favor, hit the like button if you like Ubel. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. Check out my second anime channel where I'm currently covering The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity and the Sword of the Demon Hunter. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching and I'll see you guys on the next video.